Hi, I'm Dr. Cass Smith at Private Practice Ninja, and today we're going to be talking about how to get more patients with your website. I'm going to teach you 5 quick and easy ways to get more patients with your website, and it won't cost you a dime. Now, more than ever, do we need to be appealing to patients online. Why? Because as I'm filming this, we're currently in lockdown. Patients are online, they're looking for solutions through their computers rather than coming to see people face to face in clinic. So it's really, really important that you use the time that you have now to look through what you've got on your website and make it work much harder. Now, you might self-identify with being terrible at tech, but I promise you this is well within anybody's capability. Number 1, make sure that every website page has a clear call to action. What's a call to action? It's where you get the patient to do something. The problem is, when patients are on our websites, unless we give them a specific instruction about what to do next when they finish watching or reading what we put there, they sometimes wander off. So every website page needs to tell the patient to do something. Typically, that's either going to be book in to make an appointment or read something else on my website. Now, the reason that you want people to hang around on your website is this signals to Google that there's good content that people like, therefore they're going to push you further up the rankings. So it's very important that you encourage patients to stay on your website. You might be thinking, Kath, listen, I've got that appointment thing covered, I've got a contact page, they can just find me over there. Don't make it hard for people. Human beings are inherently lazy, or rather our brains like to conserve energy. So instead, make it painfully easy for people to take the next step. So it could be, if you are a patient who's got a problem with your knee, why not book an appointment? And if you like patients to contact your secretary via a phone number, then make a clickable link to your phone number. Most patients these days will be looking at your stuff on a mobile phone. They don't want to have to faff about cutting and pasting in order to make that action. So how do you make a clickable link? Well, generally speaking, you highlight the telephone number, you right click, and it might give you the option then of, do you want to add a link? And then to add a link for a clickable phone number, you simply put the letters TEL, colon, and then the rest of the phone number. And that means that when a patient touches on it on their mobile phone, it rings through to you. Equally, you can do this with an email link or a link to another page you want them to go visit, but no page should have a dead ending. Number 2, put internal links within your website pages. You may have heard that links between websites, different companies for example, is a good thing in Google's eyes, and that's true. But Google also likes internal linking within your website. And the reason for this again comes down to the amount of time patients spend on your website. So it makes sense to think strategically about your website pages and or vlogs or blogs and where they're going to lead to next. Sometimes this means linking together similar vlogs and blogs. So it could be that you've written about breathing difficulties in coronavirus, and then that leads on to how you need to control your diaphragm better. Isn't Pilates good for diaphragms, etc. So you can link up blogs in a nice way this way. Or again, don't forget the call of action activity, which is to send people to book an appointment. Number 3, use patient testimonials on every web page to give credibility. How likely are you to go to a website and buy a big ticket item, an expensive item, without reading any reviews first? Pretty unlikely, unless you bought from that person or company before. Patients are just the same. They don't really want to book in with somebody unless they've read something good about you. But the trouble is, you don't want to make them work to have to find the good news that's been said about you. So the trick here is to use a testimonial from a patient that's applicable to what's on that particular page. So rather than just randomly putting a whole load of good words, general sort of testimonials on that webpage, why not pick out a specific one? So for example, if you're a physio who treats women who've got sort of pelvic floor problems postnatally, then make sure that the testimonial we'll have there is from a patient waxing lyrical about how marvellous you were for her and her bladder. Number 4, use video on your service pages. You'll know by now how evangelical I am about making video for your website. I'm going to put a link to a video clip that explains more about that. But The mistake that sometimes people make is that they stop at one video. They might make a video on their homepage, for example. Every single time you're writing copy for a website page that talks about a specific service, so it could be ACL rehabilitation or lumps and bumps removal service, you need to make a little video. You can do this easily on your smartphone with no extra cost. Why do you want to do this? Well, it comes down to keeping people on the website, but also, very importantly, video is hugely powerful. We are 9 times more likely to remember what's been said in a video rather than reading it in text. So make sure every single service page has its own individual little video. Number 5, write compelling web page titles and compelling meta descriptions. Okay, so I left a bit of geeky stuff till the end. This is the bit that people miss out on, and it's the sort of secret sauce that will enable your website pages to be found. What am I talking about here? Well, when patients are searching in Google, they put in a phrase. We call this a keyword phrase, or sometimes a long tail keyword phrase. So it could be ACL expert physios in London. Now, if you're on your computer, why not hop onto Google and actually type that in? As I'm recording this, currently, you'll see a box pop up that has balance physio in it, and it talks about those exact words, ACL expert physio. So how do you make sure that Google is using those words when it's representing your page? Well, first of all, you've got to make your website page say those words. So why not have a website page that says expert ACL physiotherapy in London and then talk about your service underneath it? There's a nice tool that you might have heard of called Yoast. It's like toast with a Y. And this makes it super easy for us non-geeky people to be able to make sure that at the bottom of our website page, we put this information in correctly. The way that it does this is it kind of nudges you through a process. So it'll make you make a title, okay, for that website page. And when choosing the title, it's really important that you actually put some words into Google and see if patients are searching for those words. So try not to make it your hobby horse or too rocket science or too medical. If we're talking about back pain, don't talk about discal pathology. So that's the web page title. But also we have a thing called the meta description. And this is something that helps you to make the choice when you're on a search results page. So if you put in ACL expert physios in London, you'll see several things come up: Google place 1, place 2, place 3, and some ads above it. And underneath it, you'll see a few little words written that you can quickly skim read, and it normally helps us decide whether that's the one you want to click on or not. And this is called the meta description. And it's very important that that should be compelling, because if you don't fill it in, Google will take some random words, generally speaking, sometimes it's the first paragraph, and put that in. And that might not be enough to explain what's in your piece of work. So if you use Yoast, it will tell you that you put enough in. You'll see a little line go green, so you've got enough characters in there. And if you're talking about expert ACL physio in London as your title, why not have come and see us at Bants Physio. We've rehabbed hundreds of athletes who've got ACL problems. You get the drift. So use Yoast. It's your friend in the SEO world. Need help with getting more patients using your website? Why not book a Ninja Power Hour? This is where you and I get together over Zoom for an hour. There's no further commitment after that, and we can bash through your website's current content so you don't have to produce anything more. Make it work super hard for you so those patients come back to you the moment we're out of lockdown. All you have to do is send me an email. I'm at css@privatepracticeninja.tv.